Right around the time I was listening to J. Cole, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. And the more I got into J. Cole, I was like, J. Cole's, bro,
Goated.
he's goated on another level. You know what else is goated?
Who?
I was going to say more of what?
Oh, what?
Apple's pretty goated.
Can't take that off the throne.
Apple's holding the title as the number one tech giant at least in the United States.
How do you feel about that? I mean, with this new episode of the LeisureHub Podcast.
Welcome back very much.
Very much.
I feel like Apple owns you and you don't even realize it.
That's so true.
100%
In a way.
true. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the latest episode of the LeisureHub Podcast. With you have Justin as your host, and with me, my co-host, you got
Pedro.
See, you keep rolling those R's. I love it. I love it. But we were thinking about this, and this is kind of a hot take because I feel like people love their iPhones.
They love their Android.
And people love their Androids. But in the United States specifically, people love their iPhone. They love Apple in general, right?
I wouldn't blame them. I mean, I guess I'm biased.
So let's just kind of dive right into it, right?
Okay.
No sugarcoating, no like paraphrasing or anything like that.
Okay.
What are some ways that Apple, in air quotes, owns you? Because we haven't really defined what this is. We just kind of threw this idea out.
Right.
How does Apple own you?
I feel like Apple has its own environment, it's like the Apple ecosystem, if you want to call it that way. It's like this Apple ecosystem consists of, whether you have a MacBook Air or iPhone or AirPods, everything is connected. And the thing is, like, everything works with each other and each other only.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even charging ports, not until recently, everything was designed specifically for iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So any cable or any USB-C that you had around the house would not work in any of this.
Right. So basically, you're referring more to the ecosystem than the actual product. Because let me throw this out. Let me kind of throw this idea out there, right?
Yep.
People aren't, and this is going to be a hot take. People aren't in love with the iPhone. They're in love with the software. They're not in love with the product. They're in love with the software.
Okay, what do you think of that?
What I think,
why do you think?
Because people are in love with how it works.
It's easy.
People are in love with FaceTime, with iMessage, the blue bubbles.
Yeah.
They're in love with, I can have a FaceTime on my phone and then I can just join it on my laptop and seamlessly.
Mm. I
can have, it's called the continuity camera. I can have this and I can have that. They're all features. It's not the computer. It's not the phone. It's not the iPad. It's the iPad. It's not the product. It's the software that they're in love with, for the most part.
So they're too attached to the brand. Basically.
Very attached to the brand. And so this is all to say, Pedro and I both have an iPhone.
We're biased.
I have an Apple Watch. I have an iPad, or not an iPad. I have an Apple Watch. I have AirPods. I have an iPhone. I have a MacBook.
Man, Mr. Apple guy.
Yeah, I even had like the
he has Apple TV.
Apple TV.
He got Apple Wheels. He got Apple Music.
Apple Wedges. Do you get it?
Huh?
Apple Wedges.
Wedges?
Yeah. Or are you looking at like Apple Wedges, like apple slices?
Like potato wedges?
Yeah, like wedges, potato wedges. Why do I gotta explain Apple wedges?
Oh my God, bro, I'm so dumb.
Why do I gotta explain this?
I am so dumb.
You took my 5,000 IQ joke and turned it into
that was good. You see, I was thinking about tech stuff and shit, and then you come with Apple wedges, and then I had to brain restart here.
But like the ecosystem, right? The ecosystem that to answer the question, what are some ways? I think the main way is through the ecosystem, right? Mm-hmm. The ecosystem alone is so seamless and easy to use, like you said. You okay?
Yes, I felt like yawning, but then it went away.
You kind of farted too. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, right.
But like the ecosystem alone is enough to have people stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you lock people in to a method that's easy, simple to use, and it makes it complicated for you to get out of that or leave, like you said, why would they ever want to leave? It becomes too much of a hassle to leave.
Kind of like home.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? Like you have all your stuff in it. You're used to it. You're comfortable.
Actually, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very interesting. Well, it's very interesting you say that. It's like a house or it's like moving. Think about it. You think about moving, like you want to move, right? Like,
oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. You have to learn all the.
Like I'm in an apartment, and like personally, I would much rather have a house instead of apartment, just because of like how thin the walls are and extra, like all the extra stuff with that. But like, I think about moving, and I'm like, damn, that's a really, really grueling process.
Yes.
I got to do this and I got to do that, and then it's like, I'll hold off on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of like a hassle, like a kind of some weight to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so like, because of that, you're like, maybe I'll just wait off. I'll hold off. And so to relate this back to the ecosystem, it's like, think about having to transfer all of your photos and videos and like everything, getting used to like an Android, like shifting over from an iPhone to an Android. Like you're basically moving into a new house.
Yeah.
Or to a new city. That's actually better. A new city.
Because you have to learn everything, where everything is at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And so like you're unfamiliar with the area. You're unfamiliar with an Android. So it's like, why would you want to switch? So in a way, I mean, Apple's not stupid. They're $1 trillion company for a reason. Sorry, $2 trillion company for a reason. Their marketing that's it. I mean, I make that in like a day. So okay. I'm just saying. I've been to Epstein's Island.
Oh, God.
I can't even joke about that. Yeah. Like that's bad. But like they're a $2 trillion company. Their marketing is so genius. Like as much as like I have a love-hate relationship with Apple. Yeah. I don't know. Before I go for my tangent, like what would you say your relationship with Apple is? I know you're not the biggest tech person, but like
it's just it's comfortability. It's strictly because I'm comfortable with it. I know where everything is at. My first smartphone was an iPhone 3G.
You still have that though.
Yeah. Okay.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
And they used to be so small.
Yes, bro.
And then compared to what we have now, it's like, bro, like
giant slab.
I'm pretty sure they were the same size.
What's that?
Like I'm saying, like I thought they were the same size, but then when you actually come across one, it's like, how my big ass thumb used to text on this.
Well, your thumb can't even reach the top of the screen.
Not now.
No,
you're right.
It's
like
too big.
Well,
that's kind of like the iPhone Mini. The iPhone 12 and 13 Mini came out.
Yeah.
And it was a very small group of people that really liked it, but ultimately it didn't sell well enough for people for Apple to come up with the iPhone 14 Mini and 15 Mini
to continue it.
Exactly. I have a love-hate relationship with Apple.
Why is that?
On one hand, I love how seamless, like we talked about before, their products are. They just work. They're very fluid and they're efficient.
Yep.
But because of that, the more you buy into Apple, the more you buy their products. Like first you starts off with an iPhone, and then you're like, well, I need a new laptop. And what works great with your phone, a MacBook. So you get text messages on your laptop. You can respond to them. You can get FaceTimes on your laptop. Everything's connected.
Accessibility
makes it super easy.
Yeah,
right.
And it's nice.
It's really nice. Like I don't take it for granted, at all. Like it's really nice.
Yeah.
And so like I want to preface with this episode, this is not necessarily us complaining. It's more about like a realization of like the tight grip that Apple has on not just me and Pedro, but every single person that has an iPhone or MacBook or whatever Apple product.
I feel like they have an advantage.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they have an advantage in the industry because like I feel like Apple is the first on everything, and then everybody follows through. In a way.
Sometimes.
I might be wrong. They're the ones that do it right. in my opinion.
They're not the first company to do it with some things.
Right.
They're usually the last person.
Mm-hmm.
But when they do make a change, a big
right.
change, they do it right, and they do it big.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, I'll give a couple of examples. So, the headphone jack, they were one of the first companies, if not the first company, to remove the headphone jack. Everyone was in a riot over it.
Pissed.
I
remember that.
So mad. Like, how could you remove the headphone jack? Blah, blah, blah. Do we care about it now? Absolutely not.
No.
But what happened to every single company afterward?
What they do?
Every phone. They removed the headphone jack.
They followers.
Every company followed Apple because Apple is like the pioneer. They're not the pioneer, but they are the pioneer because they know consumers. So this is my observation of other companies, right? Other companies see Apple. Mm-hmm. They're like, we've had that shit for 5 years now, and Apple just did it, right? But then when Apple changes something, it's because
it comes to light.
It comes to light. It's almost like it's not popular. It's like, the popular kid in school, right? I'm jumping all over the place, but like, you know the popular kid in school, right? It's not popular until the popular kid does it.
That's what I mean. Like, they bring it to light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like, and Samsung and Google, what?
It's like telling a joke. Like, that episode of Key and Peele.
Which one?
Like, he tells a joke and then nobody hears him, but his friend heard him.
Oh,
and then he tells the joke. Everybody starts laughing.
That's the high on pot news.
Yeah, that one.
That one. I'm gonna throw that clip up right there. Still like my pops?
I do. I that one was actually kind of weak. There we go.
Now that's where the Key and Peele skit will go.
Okay.
That's the high on pot news.
Shit was funny.
Dude, I love me some Key and Peele. Anyway, we're not talking about Key and Peele, but we can talk about Key and Peele because I love it.
We can.
Actually, I want to, we should do a podcast episode about Key and Peele. The death of Key and Peele. That would catch so many headlines.
Yeah. No. The death of Key and Peele.
The death of Key and Peele.
You're playing right now.
Playing with fire.
You're playing with fire.
Bro, Jordan Peele would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm still alive.
Dude, imagine if we can get him to talk in here.
I would love. They would
like. They would
just,
through.
Bro, they would just have us laughing the entire time.
Just looking at him. Yeah. They don't even have to say shit.
Bro, it would be such a good time.
Yeah. No, you were saying about it's not popular until the popular kid does it.
Right. Samsung, right? Mm-hmm. They know that Apple is in front of them, at least in terms of popularity. Maybe not in tech, but in popularity.
Okay.
Right. So they know, and a lot of other companies are following suit with this. They know that if they change their phone just enough to just enough, but it has its own identity, mm-hmm. that it can mimic the iPhone, people may mistake their product for the iPhone and buy their product
How
instead.
often is that really a thing? I mean,
it's a huge marketing. Okay, if you have let's use your Yeti for example.
Okay,
if you have a Yeti, an official Yeti cup,
okay,
right, and you have something that looks close to it, but it's cheaper. Not saying that Samsung's products are like their main flagships are cheaper because they're basically the same price.
Yeah.
But let's assume that your Yeti and another cup right next to it, almost identical. Mm-hmm. One, they're just branded a little bit different. One's Yeti and one's Pedro. That's the brand of the other one.
Why is it gotta be Pedro?
that Pedro you
the cheap ass version of this Pedro.
But it's not cheap. It looks similar.
Yeah.
Right? If you could buy something that was like a couple dollars cheaper, mm-hmm. and it looked close to the real thing, and it did basically exactly what you needed to do.
Especially for somebody who doesn't care.
You would buy which one?
The cheaper one.
The cheaper one.
Yeah.
However, this goes back to our first point. That would work with a regular product, but it doesn't work with an Apple product because there's a stigma behind. You yawning again? Am I boring? What is this?
No, bro. It's kind of like a hiccup.
That's not a hiccup. You were like...
It's like a hiccups slash...
You were doing something weird with your mouth.
Dude, why are you looking at my mouth?
I'm looking at you. No, but like... It would be one thing for a product to do it. It's another thing for it to be Apple because there's this big stigma. It's almost like a popularity contest. Like... all of your friends have an iPhone and you're sending blue bubbles instead of green bubbles, which actually there's no difference between. Just fun fact.
Wait, there's no difference in between.
What difference is there?
The blue bubbles?
Yeah. You from a consumer, like what difference is blue bubbles between a text message besides the encryption and stuff like that? I mean, just like sending a message, like what's the difference?
The color.
Besides the color. I said that already.
I thought one was like Wi-Fi. Isn't the blue bubbles sent by Wi-Fi?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
The blue bubbles, and I'm like 90% sure on this, so I could be wrong, but I'm saying like the blue bubbles is just the color that Apple signifies for iMessage. It gets sent to their servers, so it's encrypted, and it's a lot more secure than SMS. Mm-hmm. But blue bubbles and green bubbles, there's no difference between. There's no difference. There's between besides the encryption and besides like how it's being like distributed. There's no difference. It's the color. It does the same exact thing, just different methods of how it's being sent. Apple's is more secure. A lot of people hate SMS. They're trying to transition over to a different platform. Google's trying to help with that. I'll let the professionals take care of that portion, but like, because I'm not like a tech reviewer or anything like that. I do follow tech a lot. But like my biggest question, or like the biggest question is like, you know, where does this whole idea apply? You know, like where does this whole Apple owns you apply? And I would say like it mainly only applies in the United States.
See, I'm not, and I'm sure there's some people out there that are like me and are not completely aware of this. So what has the United States that other countries don't when it comes to Apple?
What do you mean?
Like, why is it specifically in the United States?
Why do you think it is?
Because it's made here.
Why do you think it's made here?
I mean, it's designed here, right? And made somewhere else. I
don't know. Why do you think that?
I don't know. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, but like, why are you asking the question?
Because that's actually what the question is.
I was just gonna be like Pedro's therapist, just ask him why all the time, not give direct answers. Just so in the United States, the iPhone is a social phenomena. It's a social product. Whereas like in other countries, you go to other countries, like go to the UK, you go to Japan, Korea, China, India especially, they're not using iPhones.
What? They're using Androids?
They're using Androids. Huh. I couldn't really give you the specific phones that they're using in each different country, but I know for India, the iPhone costs way more there than it does here. It's like if it's $1,000 here, it costs like probably 1,600, whatever, 1,600 their rupees, whatever their currency is in India.
Oh shit!
It's a lot. It's the cost of an iPhone is extremely high in India.
Oh wow!
So like, for a lot of people, like an iPhone is not the choice because it's just too expensive. There's so many Android phones you can choose from. Android is like the number one choice. So like
that's understandable.
Right. So like you could say like the iPhone is extremely popular in the United States, and it's like it's leaps and bounds in the United States, but it's not doing like sales wise, it's not breaking any records in other countries for that exact reason. At least that's what I've been reading up on. That's what I've been learning. And little fun fact, what does that sound?
Does it pick it up?
No.
There's got to be the Yeti cup.
Is that your Yeti?
Why is it the same?
Bro, my Yeti cup does that all the time.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe Yeti cups aren't that great.
Dude, it's just a brand. Brands
just be brands, bro. And brands don't do anything brandy. They just brand, man.
I know, dude. I do like Yeti though.
They're all right.
Maybe it's a placebo effect type deal.
It could be an Apple thing.
Boom.
Could be an Apple thing.
That face you made, dude.
Boom. It's like, I'm so fucking right. But like WhatsApp.
I never dealt with that.
You know, like United States, WhatsApp is like the least used app, but in other countries, that's
it's like the most.
Everyone uses it.
Yep.
Everyone uses it, and it's like that's the recurring thing. It's like, how does it apply, or where does it apply? It like this Apple owning you, and you don't even realize it. This mainly only applies in the United States, and like it gives this like luxury look to it, and it makes you kind of feel like, I'll throw this out.
It's
right?
branding, bro.
It is branding.
It's branding.
But an iPhone makes you feel like, or an Apple product makes you feel like you're rich.
See, I don't see that.
You know? How do you see it?
Okay, I have an iPhone because literally, like I said, I started with iPhone, first smartphone. That's literally how I see it.
Yeah.
And is comfortable. The only reason I have an Apple laptop is because of graphic design.
Right.
And it's easier, more more efficient in a MacBook Pro, in my opinion.
But what if that's
with Apple software, it's easier for me to use because I'm used to it. You know, that's what we used in college, and I'm already used to it. So it was easier for me to get comfortable with an Apple laptop.
Right. But what if that was just? What if that's just what you were led to believe? What if you could get the same experience on a PC?
Then it wouldn't matter.
Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's all just in our head that it matters, and it really doesn't.
And maybe it could be a matter of preference.
This is all just speculation.
Yeah,
this is not like, we're not giving pure facts. Like I said, like we're not tech specialists that do this on the regular. We just have, I know a lot about tech to a degree. And I'm just kind of giving my opinion. Same thing with Pedro, but just wanted to throw that out there just in case anybody's like, no, that's not right. It's like that.
No,
we're not.
Change it.
We're just two dudes on a couch talking tech. That's it.
But it may come down to preference. I remember my dad. I was still probably freshman, sophomore. He bought a brand new desktop Mac computer.
What?
Yeah.
No way, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, those are like $2.
Yeah, right. For shits and giggles. I mean, I think we had like, tax return, and people just buy shit. Yeah. So that year we got a Mac desktop computer.
Yeah.
My dad, it was so funny, dude, because my dad kind of like jailbroke it in order to have Windows in it. And I'm like, bro, what? Why didn't you just get a freaking PC with Windows installed on it?
He side-loaded Windows on to his Mac. Gotcha.
And then every time he would boot up the computer, he would switch to Windows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, this doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Then, I started getting into the graphic design. And our college, all they had is Apple software. So I'm like, holy shit, good thing I already have a Mac. So I use my Mac. I use Mac at home. I use Mac in school. I got really comfortable with Mac in general. So to me, it's kind of like, I don't see it as a luxury. I just see it as it's always been implemented in my household.
Right. But like I don't know, like that's kind of just, that's how I see it. I see it as that as well.
Yeah.
But I also see it as like Apple is this luxurious like product. And like it's funny to say that because like, an iPhone 15 Pro is $1,000, but you can buy a Google Pixel, the most current one, and no, that's not $1,000. But let's just say Samsung. The Samsung Galaxy S, whatever number they're on,
right?
Like that's $1,000. Like you also have their fold and flip phones. Like those are like $1,300 and $1,500. Like that's very luxury. Like that costs a lot for a phone.
Oh yeah. So
like, wouldn't that be luxury? Like you would from a cost alone.
I think that comes to branding.
It's the branding specifically. 100%. Apple brands their products as this easy to use but very exclusive, right, or like luxurious product.
And the thing is, they make it work. It works.
bro. Like,
Fine.
I wouldn't like. I can't.
And I'm being completely biased, but go ahead.
But like I said, like I have a love-hate relationship with them. As much as I love using their products, I know how good their market and I know how good their marketing is. It's like I hate it sometimes.
So why do you hate it? Okay,
I hate it.
Why? What's the hate?
The hate is because while they do work so well, it's like I want to use other products.
Bro, this is like the last episode.
What?
It's like you got so many options. You want to use other products.
Well, it's because it's not just Apple that exists.
Okay.
Right? Like there's other products that exist, and that's interesting to me. That excites me. That
you just want to have 2 phones.
It gets me riled up.
I got 2 phones.
One for the plug-in, one for the
O's.
O's, like Oreos. Orientals. Pedro just looks at me dead straight.
But yeah, which would be cool. But you do like what? Do you want to try Android just for shits and giggles? But you don't want to leave Apple completely out of the picture.
I've wanted to try switching over from an iPhone to an Android because they have a lot of cool things, and I do like some of the designs for Androids. But like just switching over, like
why don't you just get a tablet?
Why would I get a tablet?
An Android tablet.
That's stupid. I would
just to have you have the Android software. You can explore it.
You know the number one tablet is in the United States?
What? I don't know.
It's an iPad.
I should have fucking guessed that.
It's an iPad.
I should have guessed that.
The number one tablet is an iPad in the United, like in the world. Like I think in the world.
The iPad Pro. Let me stop. Bro, that shit looks. That's so good. I feel like I'm being biased, but I'm saying it strictly for art purposes.
I am a fiend for products that just work. And like I said, Apple products just work. It's simple.
They know they do.
It just like I don't know. Like I have a friend. His name is Anthony. Shout out Anthony if you're listening to this. But he's the definition of an Apple fanboy. Like I love him, but he's a definition of an Apple fanboy. Like anything Apple, you can name it, he has it.
Damn,
he has it. Almost everything. But like instead of you can get an Alexa or Google speaker, right?
He has the Apple Home.
He has Apple Home. Like
Apple TV.
He has Apple TV.
Bro,
he has Apple Fitness Plus.
What is that?
It's their own workout like thing that you can watch on TV and you can work out with them. You know those like channels where you can ride a bike and work out with them, and do different exercises as they're doing it. He has that.
So he has the whole ecosystem.
He has AirPods. He has the
he's flexing on them pods.
He's flexing on those AirPods. Money.
You got money.
Yeah. The Apple Watch Ultra.
What is that? Ultra? Is that like the highest version?
That's the highest. That's the rugged version.
My man Anthony loaded,
bro. If you need money,
no,
I'm kidding.
He's gonna be like, bro,
you gotta stop.
If you need money,
what?
Oh, Anthony's a funny guy.
No, I love Anthony.
Yeah, he's cool. Come on, man.
I'm just clearing my throat.
I'm tired of you clearing your throat.
Listen, we're big boys. We got to do big boy things. Sometimes that entails clearing your throat. What do you sound like, a fire hydrant? Or
a fire hydrant, bro? I didn't know they had a sound other than water rushing in.
That's what it sounds like. Chris Wagenseller?
Yeah. I hope he's watching this.
Sorry, I called that his full name. Don't look him up, but you'll probably look him up. Anyway. On to our next point, right?
Yeah. Focus.
We're trying to focus. It's late night. Why is Apple popular?
I feel like we kind of touched on this, but come on, it's kind of self-explanatory. Branding, they flex. They flex on a product that fucking works.
100%.
And the thing is, when you flex, people tend to be like skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Apple first made it work and then flexed.
Yeah. You know what I think it is more than branding? I mean, this goes along with branding and marketing, right? Because like you have to market your product and you have to brand it correctly in order for people to literally praise it, right?
Right.
But overall, it's a social thing. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have an iPhone, you are not popular. You're not cool.
Dude, that's fucked up. That is so fucked up now.
No, I'm not saying that. Like, I mean, I am saying it, but like,
you're not cool.
But no, like kids will literally make fun of, like, other kids will make fun
because
of
they got Androids?
Yes. I'm being serious.
It's the stupidest thing.
It is dumb. It's so dumb. This whole controversy between blue messages and green messages is the dumbest shit possible. But like that alone, that one thing alone is enough to have people go on an iPhone. Just that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like
to flex.
100%. And like, if I'm telling, like, I was listening to this on another podcast, but like they were basically saying how, like, and I agree with this. It's like, if you want to be included in a social gathering, right? Like from phones.
Yeah.
And you want to be in a group message, but you have an Android and everybody else an iPhone,
you get roasted.
Bro, no one's inviting you to that group chat.
Obliterated.
You're not invited. You're the outcast.
Yeah.
You're ostracized.
I've always had this question. When you react to a message from an Android user, do they see that react?
So originally how it was happening was, and it was the most annoying thing for Android users. It was literally like, if you reacted to a message, it would say Pedro reacted to Justin's message, and it would read the whole entire message. And every time you reacted to a message, it would send them that block of text. But recently, Google made a patch that if you reacted, or if Apple, or if an iPhone user reacted to a message, it would just come up as a normal reaction on an Android.
So what you're telling me is that Apple is so big that it's causing Android companies to change their own messaging system to work with Apple's system.
Basically.
That's
long
insane.
story short.
That's insane.
Right? Because essentially they want more people to use their product, right? And it's also kind of annoying for Android users to be a part of an iMessage or a group message and get all those notifications. Apple won't interact with Google,
right?
Because it's competition, and like they want to make sure that they're stomping out any chance of variation, right? But the messaging system is tweaked now, but it took like having Google start that for Apple to actually
work with them
to a degree. They're not really playing nice completely, but they are working a little bit more
and that's
together.
Funny, dude, because I feel like Apple's on top of the mountain and Google kind of has to work with them, I guess, in a way, in order to stay with the competition.
Yeah.
In order to stay in that level.
For sure. I mean, I feel like at what point does like all of this become way too much? If it is too much.
I feel it is already too much with iPhones coming out every year. I don't think that's a necessity. I think that's a privilege and a luxury. An iPhone doesn't need to come out every year. People treat this like cars, like they, you know what I mean? Like, bro, new iPhone just came out. You literally have last year's iPhone. I mean, but then again, that's just the way I am with phones specifically.
Right. But like, let me throw this out to you really quick. If Apple was only coming out with an iPhone every 4 years,
yeah,
how much money do you think they would actually be making?
It's becoming too. When you're worrying about money, just the money. I mean, this goes to what like our other episodes too. You know.
Yeah.
Like, it is too much.
Right, but like that's not how a company sees it.
Exactly.
They see it as profit margin.
Exactly. What benefits? It benefits the company, but you know, it becomes too much to the consumer. That's what I'm saying.
It becomes too much to the consumer, but the consumer almost doesn't care. Do you know what I mean?
True.
It becomes this like, you know, as a product company, they need to make a product every year to keep it fresh, so to speak, right? It's like when you go to Starbucks and you want to
Starbucks,
when you go to Starbucks, you want the latest new drink, right? This is all marketing. Like if you kept the list the same thing, but you updated it every 5 years, like people would get bored of it. Like you need to keep it. I mean, you and I know.
You think so?
You and I know a lot about marketing.
Okay.
You're telling me that if they kept it completely the same and just didn't change it, it would the sales would go high.
I would say, I mean, they'll keep that money rolling in, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes the changes are barely anything.
Right. But like it's just enough to make the next sale. You gotta make the next sale.
But you're selling the same phone.
You are selling the same phone. Like you and I both know this.
I'm just saying that's too much, in my opinion.
It is too much.
It's like, I don't think it's necessary. Just like I think it's not necessary to come out with a car every year. They really don't come out with a car every year. It's the same model, right?
Well, it's every like 4 years.
Exactly, but they tell you it's a 2024 model, but that model came out 3 years ago. You get what I mean?
Kinda. I mean, it is just an updated version of that current car.
Yeah, barely updated. And the same thing is happening with phones.
Yeah.
You know, it's just to keep money rolling in.
It's to keep money rolling in. It's to keep things fresh. It's to stay relevant.
Yeah,
right.
I don't
like,
think it's necessary.
Tech is constantly changing, and you got to make it seem you for the consumer. You got to make it seem like it's worth it.
Yeah,
you got to make it seem like it's worth it. And I don't buy a phone every year.
Yeah, you do, bro.
Yeah, I buy a new MacBook every year because I kind of just.
Do they come out with those every year?
A new MacBook?
Yeah. No way.
Maybe every like 2 years.
See, why not every year? People don't buy those as much.
They might every year. I don't think. I don't know. I'm blanking. I'm like I know so much about tech, but like now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel you.
It's like I go off on tangents on tech, and like right now I'm like, I mean, I think I don't really remember.
Dude, now that you say that, we should have a podcast with ChatGPT. Ask her questions.
Her?
Damn, I just assumed this fucking gender, dude.
Bro, you can't.
Damn.
It's AI.
Right.
Gender neutral.
Okay. Dude, that would be cool, though.
For it to be gender neutral?
No, bro. To just ask her questions.
Her?
Fuck.
Why do you keep saying that?
I feel like she would be a girl for some reason, bro.
Why? Because Siri and Alexa are girls, or female.
I guess, default. Quote unquote. I guess
the default are female voices.
Yeah. But anyways, that was off tangent.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I understand it from a business strategy, from a marketing strategy, from a branding strategy. Like, you need to release it every year. Mm-hmm. I don't buy a phone every year. I buy a new iPhone every 2 years. Oh, it makes it even better. But for me, my reasoning for that is because I'm trying to get the most value out of my phone possible, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, like, the most value would be within the year, but like, I'm not done paying the phone off because I do month-to-month payments on it, which most people probably do instead of paying it right off. But I could either wait in 5 years when my phone is worth $200, mm-hmm. or I could sell it 2 years later and get basically what I paid for it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's personally why I try to get a new phone every 2 years, and that was what they were doing on contracts, like a Verizon contract. It was every 2 years and then you would upgrade to a new phone. Yeah. Obviously, that's not really the case anymore. They kind of like took that away because they're like, this is a dumb idea. We're not making enough money from doing 2-year contracts. But I think overall, like, we don't realize it on a day-to-day basis because we actively just use it. And we're kind of just going on our day-to-day lives, interacting with a MacBook, an iPad, an Apple Watch, AirPods, an iPhone. We're just working with it, right? It's just we don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But when you sit down and you think about how much control, and this takes a lot of marketing, and your product has to be flawless. The amount of control Apple has on you, it's almost like, hands over and the puppet master is controlling you. And it seems kind of scary when you say it like that.
Do you think it's going to be like a monopoly? Like at some point?
Bro, they're almost a monopoly.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I mean.
A lot of companies are like that, though. Microsoft, monopoly.
Disney,
100% a monopoly.
Damn.
Like, think about it. Microsoft, they had a $72 million deal, or $74 billion deal, or million dollar deal to acquire acquisition. 69. No, it was 70 in the 70s.
Oh yeah, holy shit.
$1 million deal, bro.
Billion.
That's billion. And then you had Disney acquiring FX or Fox.
Holy shit,
bro! Like 2 biggest acquisitions ever in entertainment history, and Apple could easily acquire whatever it wanted.
Something
easily.
Yeah, but I feel like Apple will be the company to just make it themselves.
Well, you would say that, but then why don't they make TVs?
Huh?
Why don't they make TVs?
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them though.
It's because they have certain products that they just kind of hone, they sit on, and that's their specialty.
Yeah,
that's they work on. It's what they work on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder. I know this is not a point, but what could be next for Apple? Brand new shit.
Oh, I have something interesting for you.
Apple Car.
Yo, I'm not joking.
I mean, with electric cars coming in, I wouldn't put it past them.
There's been speculations going around for the past couple of years that Apple is working on a car.
iCar?
iCarly?
Please do not call it that.
iCar? Lee?
No. Yeah, iCar. Do not call it that.
No, iCarly.
Apple Car. iCarly, dude. That shit,
iCarly, dude.
iCarly, dude. That shit was fire.
But they're working on a car. They're also working on an interface where I
can see you driving that shit.
Why?
Just because you want to try it out.
Bro, that car would be $200,000. That's it. I couldn't afford that.
No way, it's not $200,000.
Bro, they charge $3,000. Do you see how much they charge for their products?
It's not going to be $300,000.
Do you see how much they think they charge for their products?
Yeah.
Overpriced.
Yeah, but
so
it's not going to be 200. I bet you it's going to be around 70,000.
They're gonna overcharge for their car.
No.
When they get to making a car.
Hell no. 200,000.
I'm exaggerating when I say $200,000.
I'll buy a Maybach.
I would say, if anything, 100,000.
I can see it.
100,000 for their car.
But nah, it's not gonna be gas. So
no, it wouldn't be gas. They would 100% do electric. 100% do electric.
Dude, that shit better be dope though. Like some Bugatti shit or something.
It would probably look weird.
I know, right? Why is that the speculation?
Because think about it, right?
Like a Prius.
Yeah. No, they just updated the Prius. I'm gonna pop it up right there.
That shit looks nice.
They just updated the Prius to the sporty car, it's the top of the line Toyota Prius. Bro, I would buy that Prius. I would buy it. And
there's a meme going around. It's like, who hurt Prius?
Yeah. Yes, I saw that. And years ago, you would have never caught me driving a Prius. That thing was have you ever watched The Other Guys?
No.
They call it it's like a pussy car or something like that.
Brian from Family Guy.
No, not Brian from The Other Guys.
No, but he drives a Prius though.
Oh yeah. But have you I just asked you this, but The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
No, I don't
you
think
haven't watched this?
That, no.
So Will Ferrell's driving around in a Prius, right?
Yeah.
The car gets stolen and these homeless people get it. Right?
Will Ferrell, man.
And so long story short, they ended up going to this the car has a whole bunch of cocaine on it, blah blah blah. It's been confiscated for evidence, right? But before it got into the evidence, a whole bunch of homeless people got it and they had sex in it. And so they left a note. They left a note in the car saying, "From Mike, Dirty Mike and the boys."
Yo.
And Mark Wahlberg was like, "Yo, did a raccoon's like the little goo when you have when you give birth? Like it's the goo that comes out.
Yeah,
it's like a placenta.
Placenta.
He's like, why is there a placenta on the carpet?" The note said like, this car was a good time. Love Dirty Mike and the boys. He's like, who's Dirty Mike and the boys?
I gotta see that shit,
bro. The Other Guys, great movie. 100% would recommend it. We got way off topic, but we're gonna wrap this one up on the most recent episode of the Leisure Hub podcast. Apple owns you and you didn't even realize it.
This was a good one.
Little Paul's hanging around your head. Hey, I'm happy with my Apple products. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, you're happy being a puppet?
I'm happy being a puppet. I'm happy with the products. With the products, it's there. I feel it's very controlling, but they work, right?
Yeah, they do work very, very efficiently.
Well, let us know in the comments, or let us know on Threads or any of our socials: Instagram, Threads, YouTube, the comment section.
And go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I said be creative. Let us know what you think Apple is up to, and what products you think they might come up in the future.
Yeah, and so like let us know what you think about this overall podcast topic. I mean, I'm a big tech boy. Pedro's a little bit into tech, so we have some other tech topics that we want to talk about. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you want us to never talk about it again?
Hate it or love it, dogs on top.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of the Leisure Hub podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You guys have been swell. And honestly, you're looking pretty good in that t-shirt you're wearing.
Yeah.
Not to Pedro.
To you.
It's to you. You're looking mighty fine. In your sweats, your tight sweats.
Close your mouth.
And maybe get a new iPhone case.
Maybe not.
Get the vegan leather one.
The what?
They have a vegan. Yeah. Peace, guys.
See you. How?